Imagine a creature weighing 8 tons with a bony crest on its head nearly twice the length of the skull itself. This crest, the comb, consists of solid bone. It begins at the nostrils and sweeps backward for nearly 2 meters. Such a crest belongs to only one dinosaur known to us, Saurolophus. Since its first discovery in 1911, this crest has posed scientists the same question: why? It is not a weapon. Its shape is not suited to attack or defense. It is not armor. It is not a sensory organ in any conventional sense. So what is it? Over more than a century, scientists have proposed several hypotheses. Some proved incorrect, some remarkably accurate, and one entirely unexpected. This is the story of how science solves mysteries from 70-million-year-old bones. 1911. Alberta Province, Canada. Paleontologist Barnum Brown, one of the most famous dinosaur hunters of his time, was excavating in the Horseshoe Canyon Formation. What he found surprised even him, a man who had discovered Tyrannosaurus several years earlier. An almost complete skeleton of a large dinosaur. Length, approximately 9 meters. Mass in life, approximately 8 tons. Bipedal, judging by the teeth. Herbivorous, clearly belonging to the hadrosaur group, the duck-billed dinosaurs. But the main feature was not the length or the mass. The main feature was the crest. Rising above the skull was a bony projection sweeping backward over the neck, almost vertical at the rear, with a characteristic curve. No dinosaur known at that point had anything like it. Brown named the new species Saurolophus osborni in honor of his director Henry Osborn. Saurolophus means lizard with a crest. The question of the crest's purpose arose immediately and remained unanswered for long decades. Brown's discovery was not the only one. In 1952, a Soviet Mongolian expedition found a second species of Saurolophus in Mongolia, Saurolophus angustiros. The Asian species was larger than its American relative and had a longer and more horizontal crest. In everything else, the same basic features, the same body plan, the same group. How did the same dinosaur end up on 2 different continents? The answer lies in the geography of the Cretaceous period. 70 million years ago, North America and Asia were connected by a land bridge across what is today the Bering Strait. Scientists call it Beringia. Animals migrated across this bridge in both directions. Saurolophus is one of the few dinosaurs reliably known from both continents. Its finds helped scientists better understand dinosaur migration routes in the late Cretaceous. But both species had a crest, and the question of its purpose remained open. The first hypothesis that arose when Saurolophus was discovered was the most obvious one: the crest was a weapon. The logic seemed straightforward: a large bony projection on the head, therefore for striking, or for intimidation display. Males might have used it in fights for females or for dominance within the herd. This hypothesis was rejected fairly quickly. The reason is simple: the shape of the crest. It sweeps backward, not forward or sideways. A strike with such a crest would have been ineffective and extremely awkward. Moreover, the crest was hollow inside in many related species. A solid impact could simply break it. Another argument against the crests are practically identical in males and females, at least as far as can be determined from fossils. If the crest were exclusively a male combat weapon, one would expect significant sexual dimorphism. The weapon hypothesis was the first, and the first to be rejected. The second hypothesis was more elegant. The crest served as a radiator for body temperature regulation. The logic: a large bone surface, permeated by blood vessels, could efficiently dissipate excess heat. In the hot climate of the Cretaceous period, overheating could have been a serious problem for an 8-ton animal. This hypothesis seemed plausible until scientists thought through the details. The problem is that for effective heat exchange, the surface must be well supplied with vessels and ideally have thin skin, like an elephant's ears. Bone is not the most suitable material for a radiator. It conducts heat poorly compared to soft tissue. Moreover, in Saurolophus, the crest was compact and solid, without cavities. If thermal function were primary, the structure would have been different. The thermoregulation hypothesis received partial support. The crest may indeed have played some role in temperature regulation as a secondary function. But this was likely not its primary purpose. The third hypothesis concerns a social function. The crest as an instrument of species and individual recognition. This idea has substantial arguments in its favor. First, the Saurolophus crest is unique in shape, not only compared to other dinosaur species, but sufficiently individual. In a herd of animals, the ability to quickly distinguish a member of one's own species from another was a critically important advantage. Second, in young Saurolophus, the crest was considerably smaller or absent entirely. It grew with the animal. This suggests the crest was associated with sexual maturity, like antlers in deer or a mane in lions. The larger the crest, the older and stronger the animal. This is a status signal. Third, in related hadrosaur species, the shapes of crests were fundamentally different. Each species had its own unique shape. This clearly points to a species recognition function. I am from this herd, I am your species, I am not a threat. The social recognition hypothesis is today considered one of the best supported, but not the only one. In the 1990s, computer modeling produced an unexpected result that overturned scientists' understanding of Saurolophus. Researchers created a precise three-dimensional model of the skull and internal structures of Saurolophus and discovered inside the crest run long nasal passages, nasal canals that loop through the entire crest before returning to the airways. These canals form a hollow resonator, like the interior of a trombone or an alpine horn. Scientists modeled what sound Saurolophus could have produced by passing air through these canals. The result, a deep resonant sound, rich in overtones, propagating well over long distances. Precisely the kind of sound audible several kilometers away in an open landscape. This meant Saurolophus could communicate through sound, warn the herd of danger, attract a mate, mark territory. Each hadrosaur species had a crest of unique shape, and therefore a unique canal, and therefore a unique sound. A herd of Saurolophus literally sounded different from a herd of another hadrosaur. The crest turned out not to be an antenna, it turned out to be a trumpet. In 2013, a study of soft tissue traces in related hadrosaurs brought another unexpected discovery. In some well-preserved specimens, traces of soft tissue structures around the crest were identified. Scientists proposed the crest may have been surrounded by a skin sail, a bag of skin that could inflate, like the throat pouch of some modern lizards or birds. This added a visual function to the acoustic one. An inflated skin bag around a brightly coloured crest would have been visible from a great distance. Possibly brightly coloured. Red. Orange. Something visible from far away. Sound plus visual signal, a dual communication system. This remains a hypothesis. Soft tissues are extremely rarely preserved in fossil form. There is no direct evidence of a skin sail in Saurolophus, but the circumstantial evidence looks compelling. Saurolophus may have been simultaneously a trumpeter and a visual displayer, heard and seen. Saurolophus lived at the same time and in the same places as Tyrannosaurus, and this was not a comfortable neighborhood. 8 tons of herbivorous dinosaur were an appetizing target for a 6-meter predator. Saurolophus's only defense, not armor, not horns, not venom, lay in herding behavior and communication. And here the crest took on critical importance. If the crest truly served as an acoustic resonator, then a warning call from one Saurolophus that had spotted a Tyrannosaurus could have been heard by the entire herd at a distance of several kilometers. Animals would have responded quickly before the predator had closed to attack range. Moreover, a herd of several large animals was itself considerably less vulnerable than a lone individual. Tyrannosaurus preferred to hunt the sick, the young or the stragglers. Communication kept the herd together. The crest enabled communication. Ultimately, the crest saved lives.